So when we talk about hip hop and we talk about comedy, right? So to me, hip hop is not an old man's game if you weren't in it as a young man. To me, you have to be young as a rapper, and if you become old still rapping, that's cool. You were doing it, but you can't be like, hey, I'm 52. I feel like I want to start rapping now, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like to me, that's my take on it.
I started rapping in the 6th grade. Right. I had when I got out, I had my first record deal in 1986. I got out of high school in 85. Right?
Yeah.
I had one job, I think, in between that. And ever since, I haven't worked for anyone else since for the rest of my life, all the way up to now.
But because of that first deal in 86, because that was with your crew, right?
That was, with my boys that on Nia Records, on the Aline brothers, on Nia Records, I think it was Captain Rock was on my label, I think.
Oh, wow. But check this out. And I don't know, I know you guys all probably know this, but people listening may not know this, that Bumpy was supposed to be on the way to the studio to go record with Eric B.
Well,
was that not true?
It wasn't on the way. So Eric B was looking for somebody to put on a project he was doing. And I was introduced to him, and he wanted one rapper, and I was down with a crew of 3 of us. So I felt like if I leave the group, that would be fucked up because we were in the process of trying to make a record. So I just didn't show up because I felt like if he can't take all of us, then I can't just abandon my team. And then they said, well, there's 2 guys out here that you got to meet. It's Freddie and Rakim. And that's what happened.
Oh, shit.
And I'm
crazy,
glad,
right?
I'm actually glad it worked out that way because Eric believed in me because he believed in me so much that after I made my record with the crew, Supreme Force, he actually said, the record didn't really do shit. It didn't have marketing. It didn't have, they would throw the record out, see the buzz. It didn't really rock. But in the streets, it was all right. It was all right. But he came back and was like, yo, I think actually Rakim was the one who said, yo, go get Fox. He told my brother, go get your brother. I want to talk to him. And he wanted to put me in the studio to record my own project. But Eric ended up being the one who followed through with it. You know what I mean? So he followed through with it. And Eric really believed in me. Eric, to this day, still says, yo, man, you could do so much with yourself. He's always pushing me to do more and more and more. So but that's all. That's why I said a lot of cats just want to be believed in. Eric believed in me and still does. It's like always telling me to do more. Eric was the one who really grabbed a hold of him and said, yo, you should do your own album. You should take me to meetings with him. I'm sitting in meetings with this guy with accountants, with lawyers, with all kind of fucking business people, and I'm peeping this shit like, damn, I'm meeting all these big wig lawyers, and Eric is talking to them like they work for him. And shit is like,
they do.
And like literally. And he was like, yo, Fox, don't always handle it. Don't let nobody handle you, dog. Like he was showing me the way,
Right.
I think what it is that make you great is what success is to you.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't never letting the industry dictate what success is.
Yeah.
And I think that goes for any artist. You got to know what success is for you.
It's a hard place to get to, though, bro, when you got all this shit in your face all the time of what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it. I mean, I've given guys a lot of fucking alley-oops, bro.
I mean, I just could just think of how far I've come and what I've went through to get to where I'm at.
Yeah.
Regardless of the money part, it's just that shit. My life is nothing short of a fucking miracle.
Yeah.
To get out the hood, to just be out on your own, being able to take care of yourself. So many people are just distract you with so many things and put so many things in your head. Oh, you don't have this, you don't have that you'll really forget how far you've come in the game to where you at. And the fact that you don't have nobody telling you, look, man, I don't like your attitude, punch out. Yeah. That's fucking blessing alone.
Yeah.
Because giving up 8 hours of your day to go clock in and then punch out and ask for days off.
Never been good at that shit.
Just being able to do music, whether it's at the highest level or whatever, if you happy with it and you making money with it, then that is success.
But just doing what you want to do right?
At
Something you
your
would do,
convenience.
something you would do for free, and if you get paid for it, then it's never gonna feel like work.
That's why
ever.
that's why I always am indebted to DITC, and because I always remember being on a one-way train to blow everybody's fucking head off, and North Finesse was like, yo, come over the crib for a minute. And he said, yo, I'm gonna show you something. And he said, this is how you do, this is independent, right? You don't need record companies. You don't need a record label. You could do this shit on your own. And I actually was sat down and schooled on, first of all, this is how we're gonna make some beats. I know you know how to rhyme. Let's make the product. Taking me to different people who had these little hole in the wall pressing plants. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know you could do to sell this out of your trunk and shit. I wasn't hip to that. I'm thinking we gotta be signed to a major. That's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. But once I got, then Showbiz was telling me, yo, Showbiz was putting me on to books. I used to go to Show House in the Bronx, yo. He had books. I mean, this dude had books, right? Books everywhere. Definitely. Everywhere, man. Just reading books and showing me how to use samplers between him and Ness and Buck coming in the studio and fucking Big L getting on my nerves, fucking taunting me all the time. He was just like that bad little brother that always just come around you, and then he'll lay his head on your shoulder like, yo, you ain't mad at me, are you? Yo, you not mad at me, right?
Nah,
but
L, L was just
he's
made you instigator to
he would make you realize what it was to have a little brother, a bad little brother around you in the game. So that digging in the crates, that was that passing off of the information that I was talking about. Like if a young cat come around y'all that want to be a comic, he gonna have to fall in line and watch and learn, and then you can respect his situation more because he's taking the information. It's like going back and seeing your teacher from school and they seeing you actually made something of trigonometry. You know what I'm saying?
But what I was getting at was with the young rapper, growing up to become older. Like, is it not possible for some 47-year-old to be like, you know what, I want to be a comic
It's possible.
Yeah.
I didn't start doing stand up till I was 35.
And he's 34 now.
I have a time machine. And that was a little bit harder. It was hard on me mentally, only because I kept questioning myself, like, should I have gotten in? I didn't get into it younger because I had kids young, and my dad was in the entertainment industry and he was gone a lot. And he had told me when I had kids young, he's like, this is what you are now. You're a father and you don't want to miss anything. Like my dad went on tour for 3 months the day after I was born. So he missed a ton, and I didn't want to miss anything. So I waited till the kids were 11 and 15 before I started, but I was lucky that I had met him before I was a comic, met some other comedians and stuff. And so I kind of had I cheated. I'm gonna be honest. I bullshitted my way into stand-up. I'd never done the open mic scene. I never did any of that stuff.
Well, you knew like headliners already.
Yeah, I was friends with headliners. So I went to a comedy club and I dropped their names and I said, my name's Jason Collings. I'm a comedian, and these guys told me that you would put me on stage. I didn't know how it worked. I literally went to the front of the club and asked for the owner. Wow. When in most cases, the owner doesn't book the shows. Right. I didn't know that. And he came out, he's like, what's up? I was like, yeah, I'm a comedian. My friends told me that I should come here and that you put me on the show. And he says, they told you that? I go, yeah. He goes, how long you been doing stand-up? I said, 5 years. Never done it in my life. I said, 5 years. He says, yeah. I go, yeah. He goes, come back tomorrow, I'll put you on the 8 o'clock show.
Nice.
That was a weekend 8 o'clock show.
How did that show go?
Well, when I tell this story, if any comics are watching, this is not how it works. This is my story. This ain't how it works.
Don't bite my shit.
But it's not how it works. Yeah.
You went well your first time?
Yeah.
My first time was shit.
They gave me the 3 spot, the sweet spot. They gave me the 3rd spot, 15-minute set. And they said, I'll light you at 12 minutes. I had no idea what he was talking about when he said that. I was like, yeah, light me 12 minutes. I'm thinking, what the fuck does that mean?
Hold on. So when you had these comic friends before this whole
I hung
thing
out
happened,
in the scene and watched it. I studied it.
Right.
Like when you would see me at a comedy club, I wasn't watching the comic. I was watching the audience. I was doing this. What did he say? How did they react? What did he say? And I knew I was funny because everybody, you teach with, I taught with humor when I taught martial arts. And I was teaching large groups of people. I was teaching rooms of like 65-year-olds. Right. And to keep their attention for an hour, that's a muscle that you have to really work out. So I had that muscle worked out, commanding a room full of people. Now I have to be funny, but then I thought, I got to write. Going back to the freestyle thing, again, comedians, this is not how it works. I haven't written a joke in 15 years.
I could vouch for that.
Everything. it worked out. All my whole hours are memorized. So I show up to the club. They give me the 15. They give me the 3 spot. I do 15 minutes. I get off stage. Owner says, "Come back tomorrow. You're on the show tomorrow." And I'd been doing it ever since. The first guy, remember John Roy, the comedian John Roy?
Yeah. The alopecia guy?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah.
Powder. Yeah. Powder.
Ice Cone Powder, yeah.
He goes, you remember how he talks? He comes up and he goes, "Hey, how long you been doing comedy?"
And I have that.
And I go,
His mouth would always stay open when he talked. Hey.
"How long you been doing comedy? I can't breathe through my nose." He said, and
I can't grow hair anywhere.
I said the cockiest answer. I said, "Well, what time is it?" And he told me the time. I go, "For about 15 minutes now. I've been doing stand-up."
There he is. Oh, he's got eyebrows. He's not alopecia. He's just bald.
At what point can a person? Let me ask you this, Russ, because I think either one of you guys can. At what point can a comedian actually call himself a comedian?
I always say after 10 years.
Yeah, after 10 years.
That's when you've been doing it for a living. But now you could probably call yourself it after a year.
Because in hip hop is different.
I remember. Well, listen. After 1 year of just doing amateur nights, I said I was a comedian.
I'm going to tell you
I
when
knew I wasn't, but I said I was.
When I felt like I could finally call myself a comic is when I got the Tonight Show. When I booked the Tonight Show, and I was 7 years in at that point. And then when I did well, I had a great set. And when I got back home, next thing you know, all the clubs are like, "Come on in," booking me on all the shows. When before, I remember going to the Laugh Factory as a comedian, and they wouldn't let me in unless I bought a ticket. Yeah. And now, after the Tonight Show, they're like, "Here, come in." And I overheard a comedian complaining about his spot on the lineup and why is he going on after me? And the guy said, he just did the Tonight Show. And that right there made me go, okay, now it didn't do shit for my career, but it solidified me in the community of comics.
I did that when that happened to me. I'm not going to say this rapper's name because I actually like him and I don't want to blow a spot up.
Vanilla Ice.
A rapper did this to me one time. I had to play at a club in New York, and the promoter said, "Well, I only have a certain amount of money, so I can't pay both of them." So I was like, you know what? Everybody knew I was going to do the show. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll do the show. Just give me the VIP. You could pay him. Just give me the VIP. So and he said, well, I'm not playing before Freddie Fox. I sold more records than him. And I was like, all right. So I said, fuck it. I come to the venue. This motherfucker got all his people in the VIP before I get there. I said, okay, you want to be a dick. So I said, all right, I'll tell you what. I went on stage. I did 45 minutes of Primo songs. I did another 45 minutes of Pete Rock records. And then I did another 15, 20 minutes of my shit. And somebody came up and said, yo, man, if you don't get off, man, they said they're going to leave. I said, all right, I'm going to do one more song. And then I brought Naughty by Nature up and did my shit with them. And then I bounced. And that motherfucker rocked for the janitors, cleaning up that bitch. I said, and that's it. It wasn't about me. I said, the stars on the stage.
The best part about that, in my opinion, is you didn't bitch and whine to anybody.
I didn't.
I just rocked the mic. You proved it with the skill.
The stars on the stage. I learned that from Lloyd Price, man. He said, Bumpy, the stars on the stage, whether you play first, middle, last, whatever, that's what the stars on the stage. Always remember that.
That's what I tell young comics. Just be undeniable.
Headlining is a rough gig, bro. Unless people came there to see you and they willing to wait all night.
Right.
I had a crowd when they was fresh ears. And they listen to every word. Those are my shows are like that. People ain't in the. I mean, I think me and Premier did one show in Canada, somewhere in Canada. It was so country and hillbilly. I don't remember the name of it. I got to ask Premier.
Red Deer.
They were people were actually dancing to my music. First time I ever seen it, and last time they were literally.
That would have been in Alberta, I would imagine.
It might have been. It might have been. They were having a ball and shit. I was like,
you played Toronto back in the day.
A couple
Didn't
of
you
times.
play Comfort Zone?
Yeah.
I saw you there.
Yeah, I played a couple of spots, but that particular place in Canada, I got to ask Premier, but
wasn't AV DJing for you then?
Nah, I don't remember. But I know when I played with Premier in this place, I seen people actually dancing to shit like. Somebody tell those motherfuckers I'm here. Like, oh shit,
square dancing.
It's
the militia.
Ballroom.
That shit was different, and I was like, but shit like that, I don't believe in all that headlining. Who go? I rather play first. I ain't gonna lie,
man.
Because
So
I
many
like
comics
the fresh
like
audience.
to tell you they're headlining, and I'm like, no, you're just going on last.
Yeah, I like that.
Last night, you and I did a show together, and And they told me you're on last. And I was like, I don't really care if I go on last. They go, oh, well, then we'll put you on the middle. I go, fine, perfect. So it's perfect, man. I can go the fuck on. Get out of here.
Catalog means a lot.
People
I
bitch
go all
about
night.
where their face is on flyers now.
Nah.
Or when they, my favorite is when, like, what do you want me to say about you? Nothing. I don't give a shit. Just introduce me. The credits don't mean shit before you go on. You already did that. And now the proof is in the pudding.
Right. How about when we do those piggyback shows when you don't have a host and each comic brings up the
That's what
next
we did
comic?
last night.
That's how we do it. I like those, but the comic that gives you a list of their
Tell them I was on Conan, and tell them that I was a
Scroll.
writer on another show that was canceled. And
tell them all the shit that nobody gives a shit about. Okay,
nobody's paying attention to your intro.
Right.
Nobody. I know
They
when
just
I'm at a
want
show
you
and somebody
to
hears his intro, I just fucking get on, would you?
Yeah.
I don't care what you did. I didn't see it. Just let me see this.
You know what I love about your show, bro? I love how you incorporate the DJ into your
love that.
set. I filled in for Russ's one time DJ in Boston. That shit was
Yeah,
wicked.
that was a
where I
nice
first
spin
met
back.
you.
Got all fucked
Yeah.
up.
That's exactly where I first met you.
Yeah, that
On
was
that
dope.
show,
Rest
yeah.
in peace
Oh,
to
yeah, you
Spin
were
Back.
on that. You
That-
and Nikki
I'm gonna
Carr.
be honest with you, bro. When I walk back there, DJ's got a lot of. If you're not normally a DJ in front of a crowd, you could get the bubble guts fucking around. With that. 'Cause all you got to do is fuck up one time. And it's like bahoo. They'll boo the shit out of you. But that shit was crazy.
Yeah, you killed it that night too.
Thank you.
That was the Wilbur, right?
Yeah, that was the Wilbur.
That
yes.
shit was. That shit.
Spin
Was,
Bab clearly had the bubble guts that night.
Oh boy.
yeah, I felt bad for the homie.
Yeah, man.
Oh shit! You know.
Yeah, that was dope. The way you incorporate DJs into your show is always that shit was. It was. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. I don't think
Now you see it all the time.
now you see it all the time.
Everybody does it.
I know people had intros, but I used to, usually just see this quick little shit come on and the DJ go like this. But Russ got him up there doing all kind
Oh,
of
I
tricks
love
and
that.
shit.
It was
That
never
shit was-
done that way before.
That shit was
That's
sick.
why my favorite show at Laugh Factory is Chocolate Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Because they have a DJ, they bring you up to music. It's a
and
party.
Ruben's show?
And, Ruben's doing it too.
You know, Lord Finesse DJ'd Ruby Tuesdays a couple of weeks
Tuesdays, yeah.
ago.
Nice. That shit is fun, man.
It's a great. It makes the show so much more of a show. Because
It feels eventful.
right, because even if the host is low energy, at least you got the music to walk up to.
We
you
had
know
that
what?
at Yuck
Yeah.
Yucks when X was the DJ, and you were
Yeah.
trying to get me to get.
The reason why it wasn't so frightening for me is because I did a tour one time with some legends. I was the DJ for the Four Kings of Rhythm and Blues tour with Jerry Butler,
Wow.
Benny King, Gene Chandler, and Lloyd Price. And I was the house DJ, and I had to rock the crowd before they actually performed these classic
What
songs.
was this?
Yeah, years ago, bro.
80s?
Nah, this was damn, this might have been in the 2000. I was on a hiatus from
Oh,
the
you was
music.
already who you were.
Yeah, I was already big, grown, and bald headed. But I was standing up there playing the Temptations and all that. And I
that's great.
was in a crowd full of 60s and up, and that motherfucker. You know how stuffy they could be and shit. You know what I mean? You know they.
What's he doing to the
Yeah,
damn music?
you know,
I'll tell you what.
He done broke the record. Slow it down.
Oh, if you don't stop touching that damn record.
Can we turn it down a little bit?
Just mess that Temptation song up with all that juggle shit. But I didn't do all that. I just was playing records for them, and it was like a filling the gap between the sets. It was real sick, and it was a fucking 100-piece band behind me and shit. That shit was sick, bro. But it made me. I was comfortable in that space when Russ asked me to do it, but a crowd full of people looking to hear jokes is different from a crowd full of people listening to hear the Shy Lights and Blue Magic and all that
But
shit.
you don't have to worry about rocking a dance floor. It's the easiest stuff. Like now DJs, they get hired to go play at lounges where people are just sitting down, drinking, smoking,
Yeah.
and you don't really have to worry about it. It's like when you have to, make sure that people got up and danced and they were enjoying themselves for 5-6 hours at a time. That's stress. That's stress. It takes talent.
As DJ, do you like it when they're just watching you, or do you want them to be dancing and having a good time?
No one likes it. And then
Okay.
the irony is, I did that when I was a kid before I became a DJ too. You get enamored with it. It's just something cool to watch.
Because that's
right?
a thing now. I've noticed. I sound so 50. That's a thing now, right? I just did. Remember we did CB Live in Phoenix. Yes. I just did it again, and the other half of the venue is a nightclub or something, and the show was this girl DJing. but no one was dancing.
But was she actually DJing? Because again,
She was pushing buttons.
On my come up,
She
it
was
was you watch
pushing
guys pull records
buttons.
out of crates, put them down.
Yeah.
You saw them
Here's what
hit
she
the,
was doing.
You know, the pitch control, and they have headphones on. They're blending, they're cutting, they're scratching.
But nobody,
That's
you
what
know
they
what
were
Jazzy
doing.
Jeff said that I love? Like, there's certain DJs that I know personally, there's certain DJs that just, you want to watch them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're
But
doing something.
Jazzy Jeff used to say, nobody gives a fuck how you're playing the music. Just play the music.
But when you're DJing and treating it like an instrument,
Yeah.
that's I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah. Like,
This
you can
girl was
watch
just
Kid
pushing
Capri
her.
and be like,
I
damn.
swear.
That I don't understand. If
I
people
swear
are
she was pushing
watching
stuff
that,
on her phone.
Yeah.
I don't know what she was doing.
Did Paris Hilton do some shit like that? Like,
It makes a bunch of
That
money
bitch
doing
was
it.
making money.
Yeah.
I know DJs be mad as shit. Like,
Hell yeah.
that's
Then you got the
Because-
mega
because it's
DJs
an
like,
art
you know,
form. It's
the
an art form.
Aguilera Cat, Diplo,
Yeah, no.
Mad Decent, all these guys that,
Yeah,
you know.
but and again, these guys aren't like guys who are
And then that kid
who
Dead Mouse.
started Dead Mouse. Now I'm friends with Dead Mouse. The first time I met him, we were doing the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
And Rogan hit me up. He was like, "Yo, I got Dead Mouse on. Come by." So I drove out there, and I was kind of drunk too. And the first thing I
good thing
walked
you
up
drove.
to Dead Mouse and I said, "No, somebody else drove." And I first thing I walked in the room, I go, "You're not a DJ." He goes, "No, I'm not." And I go, "Thank you.
Oh,
okay, now we can
respect.
talk."
Like when I see that Aoki guy just throwing cake in the audience, I'm like, oh, this is something else. You seen what he does?
Yeah, he owns a bakery. That's why.
Oh, okay.
hey, listen,
The leftovers?
He's the fucking heir to the Benihana stuff.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
that's
Yeah,
dope.
his dad created Benihana.
That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Hey,
he
listen,
don't give a fuck if he's actually
it's
DJing.
It's easy to say. Listen, I know how to DJ, but I'm not a DJ. You know what I'm saying? I know how to. I know how to. I used to play on my
You
radio.
get
show.
busy.
I'm all right.
You get much busier than people will even know.
love
But
the-
that doesn't make me
like I
humble.
know you,
Yeah.
so I know how busy you can get with it.
Yeah.
But nobody goes, "Oh yeah, Bumpy Knuckles, good DJ." Like
They're not gonna
that's
say-
something people go, "Bumpy Knuckles, Bumpy Knuckles DJs."
people say that about you too.
Yeah, but you know I've been doing it for 36 years. I've been DJing.
Right, but there's people
That was
that
the
have
funnest
no
part of
people
the
only
tour.
equate you to doing comedy, and then all of a sudden you go to the after party and you're like, holy shit, this guy was crab scratching.
Yeah, that's because people
Right?
put you in a box, and they whatever you're known for, that's where they want to keep you at. You know what I mean?
That's the thing you were saying earlier about knowing your lane.
Knowing your
the
lane.
problem is with a lot of the business now is people want to put you in a lane.
Right.
And they
Right.
want to put you in a lane that they
Your wife
think you
knows
should
your
be
lane.
in. Yeah. Well, yes. You land in the ass. That's right.
you get stuck in their head. You're one person. That's
Yeah.
it. You do one thing.
And this is what you need to be doing.
You
You,
just-
need to be
yeah.
a guy in a suit and a tie. You need
Yeah.
to be doing this. This is what the kids are digging right now.
It's difficult. It's difficult for people to see somebody outside of that light that they normally do. So you know, you get guys who start off rapping, or then they end up DJing, or like a guy like Kid Capri raps, DJs. He does a lot of different things. Premier is one of the DJs that I always love to see live. You can actually watch him do shit, and it's like Pete Rock is another one. Pete is but certain cats just don't have that visibility with just what you want to hear, but you don't
But
want to
Primo
see.
used to do those really dope cuts for the chorus. That's why.
Yeah.
And everyone when he always did it live. He never just let the fucking record play.
Yeah.
He would always do those cuts live, and you would see
Same
the,
way.
the whole fucking table moving
Same-
because he's
yeah.
so heavy-handed
Same
with
way.
it. And he always goes up and down. Doesn't he? He's an up and down
And
guy,
he,
right,
puts
Primo?
he used to put two turntables on one side and a mixer on the end.
Yeah.
Premier is different. He's very different.
The other dope thing about seeing Primo is because of his, his blueprint on the culture, right?
Yeah.
So he could play the first. I saw him play a party where the first 30 minutes was just all his records, and everything was a banger. So I mean, especially if you're a fan or just a fan of those songs, it's like, holy shit, he
Listen,
made this.
dog, I know
Holy shit, he made
rappers
this.
who go to Europe with albums out and will win because their whole show is them rhyming over Premier instrumentals.
Oh, shit.
Pretty much. Finish. They go to Europe, and you go to Europe, you want to win. I'm telling you all the secret now. You go to Europe, rap over Premier instrument. Don't do your record. And if you do your record, rap it over Premier instrumental.
Hold on. Note to self.
That's how you win.
You're gonna win.
Yep. You do Premier and Pete Rock records, instrumentals, you good in Europe.
You're good.
They saw that. That's how. And we were touring the Europe. I was doing Industry Shakedown a year before it came out.
Wow.
I was touring with Premier over there, doing in Japan. We were all over. That's when I seen that. Lof, you had did something over in Japan, and with what was the cat name? Mural. Yeah, I did a record with Mural. And he had a bunch of Lord Finesse collaborations. I was like, oh shit, Ness already been over here. You know what I mean? I was walking down the street with remember the wrestler Mill Mascarass? I had his mask. I had his mask on walking down the street. People were running like fuck. I had a tank top on. I was a lot bigger at the time. And people were like, Komi-sama! Boom. They were running like, oh shit, what the fuck is this? I think this big motherfucker walking down the street with a mask on. This shit was crazy.
I think traveling definitely taught me that the world was bigger than New York.
Yeah.
Because when you coming up, you want to be just known in New York. I want to be known. And then, not saying I wasn't known, but when I went to Europe and when I went to Japan and Australia, and the reception I got versus what I got in New York made me go,
yo, Japan is to get down.
Shit.
Bro.
It just felt like you had different areas and spots that you could go to and still be dominant. And then when you went back to do music, you wasn't focused on doing New York records. You was just focused on just doing good records.
Yeah, that was my lifeline overseas, man. Touring overseas. When I went to Japan, bro, I never experienced nothing like that in my life. That fan base, the fan base, anywhere overseas we went, it was amazing, bro. Except for the time I got stuck in a sauna in Tokyo, but that was
stuck in a sauna.
I was too big. I got in the sauna and the walls got hot and my shoulders was wide and I tried to get out and kept burning. I kept burning myself and I was like, oh, and I had
You swelled up.
that shit was different.
I got a story. I was in Japan on doing a show, and I had just come from Europe doing big festivals. You jump in a crowd out there, they catch you.
Oh yeah,
that's
what
the fuck happens when you stage dive, right? And so this is my first time performing in Japan, and so I saw the crowd was rocking.
Don't tell me you tried to stage.
Everybody was making eye contact. I made the motion. I'm about to jump. The crowd was massive. It was big, right? So I back up a couple steps, again acknowledging I'm about to jump into the crowd, guys. Here I come. I don't know if you're going to understand me, but I'm about to come now. Go hit the motherfuckers. Them motherfuckers cleared the whole area.
Oh, no. Oh, they Red Sea'd you?
They Red Sea'd me. I hit the ground full on.
Boom, boom, boom.
Full on. Shoulder. Because that's how far I was in the air before I realized they were getting out of the way. Right? So when I got up,
That's fucked up.
So I was trying to get up, and they all came right back in and started patting me like,
Can't believe you're here.
They were patting me like it was like 1,000 pats, and they were being very nice about shit. They weren't like hurting me, but it was just like, And so once I got up and I actually got to the front of the stage, I stopped the show, and I was like, "Hey, translator."
That's fucked up.
What just happened? How come they didn't catch me? The motherfucker said something to the audience. The motherfuckers was like, like that. It never dawned on them that to catch me was an option. You know what I'm saying? They just thought he's coming down here with us.
You said we're going to do this again?
They thought it was some wrestling shit.
No.
Hey, you went from Xzibit to Exhibit A.
You
were coming up the top row.
Right. So note to self. Don't fucking stage dive in Japan.
I never thought. I never had it in my heart. I never would stage dive. Never. Fuck that.
Yeah. I don't think they were ready for that. They was just not having it.
Certain cats, you got to be a certain weight to do that shit. Dudes like Redman.
But I'm a lot bigger now.
I can't fuck with that shit. Yeah.
So you were midair when you realized that they.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I wish I could have seen.
Oh
slow
yeah.
motion.
Because they all knew it. That we thought we were on the same page until the very last moment.
Oh my
I thought they
God.
understood
That shit
where I was
don't work
coming
for
from.
everybody,
I
bro.
thought they understood they was about to catch me. I didn't realize it till I was here.
Oh, they understood where
And
you
then
were
it was
coming
like,
from.
it went from this to
They had flashbacks to Nagasaki. That's what happened.
God damn, Nagasaki.
So wait up, how far was you up in the air
Oh man,
when you realized they started partying?
Because the stage was about a foot over, maybe a couple inches
Oh, hell
over where
no.
their hands could.
Oh my God.
No, that was a different one. That was at the World something, but that was around the same show.
You had that Ving Rhames moment and
Man.
motherfucking Pulp Fiction.
Man, that shit-
motherfucker.
that shit was crazy because I was turning like this, like for them to catch
That's
me, right?
crazy.
So I can't catch myself when I'm motherfucking hitting the ground like, oh shit,
I
these niggas
didn't trust
did not
the
catch
audience
me.
You didn't
enough.
get injured?
No, it
good.
wasn't that. It was a wooden floor. Thank God it wasn't concrete, right? And so,
Oh, man.
boom, hit that motherfucker, and they submerged right back on me. Oh! That was fucking crazy. Like I couldn't get up.
What was they patting on you for?
Hey, man, Nigga, I don't know, but they was full on.
They were acknowledging his
Dude,
greatness.
I'm talking about
like,
on
you'll
the
be all right,
face,
you'll be all right.
on the neck, my whole shit. Nobody was helping me up. They were all patting me.
That's funny as shit. That's funny.
I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? So I get up, then finally get up.
Did you
put
finish the
to
show at least?
Absolutely. I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
had to clarify that moment. I was like, yo, what the fuck just
See,
happened?
I'm different. I would be like, fuck y'all, nigga.
You were supposed to catch me. Yeah, dude, they did not know they were supposed to catch you. Straight up. I was like, word? And I was like, okay.
They just
Let's go.
That's funny.
When show went great. It was one of those moments that you just never expect going overseas. You know what I'm saying? Like even in Europe, like my first record went gold in Germany.
Which one?
Paparazzi was the first record I ever put out. And so before I got notoriety in the U.S., which
That was
is
on
around
Loud, right?
Yeah, which was like my second to third
Video for
album.
that was crazy.
No, the video for Paparazzi was dope. The video for What You
that the one
See
on the
is What
beach?
You Get.
That one. That was
Yeah. Where it was one shot, like those were all your creative choices because I wanted to be different in the West. But, even though I was like coming from Southern California, with the music, my first breaks were in Europe. Like I went out, my first touring experience was in Germany. I got a gold record out there because
What year is
apparently
this? Like 98?
like 96, 97. Right? So apparently the sample that's used in Paparazzi was like their damn near national anthem. It's like their this thing that's been like in their lives forever, and they all love this one particular song. And so when it was sampled and used for Paparazzi, they thought I did it on purpose. And I was like, no, I had no idea, you know what I'm saying? Like what this was. It just sounded dope. Yeah. And so it just went gold over there. And then, like I did a lot of touring. My first touring experiences were in Europe. And so by the time I got here, I had been doing festivals. I had been doing like, if I would have stayed confined to, just regional hip hop,
You wouldn't
in
have
the
had the
West,
experience.
No, the whole perspective of how to rock a show, how crowd control happens, how when to drop a record, when to shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? When to let the crowd say shit. Yeah. It comes from having that experience, is seeing other people rock massive shows like that. Yeah. So then you get into the idea of whether it's 5 motherfuckers or 500,000 motherfuckers, we're gonna rock the same show. Yeah. And that becomes like the way you sharpen yourself. You know what I'm saying?
You learn a lot of shit about touring in Europe. I did some of the dumbest mistakes. I remember we went to Europe and I went over that motherfucker with merch in duffel bags, and then I had my own shit. I had 2 duffel bags full of sneakers. And then when you get to that airport and they start weighing that shit, all your money goes into overweight bags and shit. Like, so but that's a learning process. You start teaching yourself, I can't. Now you go over there, you're like, I got 1 pair of sneakers, a pair of boots. I'm gonna wear this shit the whole way over there.
There's a couple of ways to handle that. First of all, they get you because the flights be cheap as fuck. So you go, oh, we good.
Yeah.
I could go for 100 pounds, great. Yeah. But they ain't telling you they charging you from everything from seating to luggage check-in to weight of your clothes. And I think it's only supposed to be.
It's definitely a learning experience.
That's why you got to tour the bus, man. Fuck that.
23
But some cities we flying an hour away. Some cities, you know what I'm saying? You got to fly some, but this is it was an experience.
I learned take the train. Love the train.
I fucking hate the train.
Hated the
Fuck that
the
shit.
train puts you right in the middle of town. You gotta understand. If you in the city, getting to the airport is an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hour drive. You get to the airport, you gotta check in, check your bags in, and then you fly off, you land. Then once again, get your bags. That's another hour and a half, 2 hours into town. Train, go in the middle of the town, put you in the middle of the town. Your bags can be as heavy as you want them shits. Just don't look like they heavy, and you'll get over with that shit. As far as merch,
loading all that shit up, and then every sign you look at, everything in Germany look like Osfart to me.
I remember I used to laugh every time Ausfart.
That's the only thing I remember. I just kept seeing that's all. You don't know the
That's
language.
the only way the farts come out.
you
I would get the merch made in London, and get a bag shipped to France, another bag shipped to Germany, and spot
but
dates.
you didn't start off like that.
Oh,
you
hell
you
no.
had to
I'm
learn.
just telling you how it is now.
We get now, but dude, I'm talking about the learning process. I make those mistakes one time, but the
And
beauty
then
of it.
they was checking your bags. Do they ask you if you got
Do
any
you
merch?
plan to sell this?
Yeah, they want to know. They want to know.
Or do you have many shirts? Are you selling the shirts? And then they hit you with the tax.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you one thing though. When you get in that motherfucker, the love over there, I go through that shit again.
I only
all
played
day.
Japan once, and it was like 3 years ago. And I got a standing ovation when I walked out, and I was like, I never had that shit happen. And I was like, in Japan?
The love over there.
Because the music is different than stand-up, because you don't need to understand the words in music. You can just vibe to the beat. But with this, when I walked out and they gave me a standing O, and it was like 4,000 people in this little fucking hotel ballroom. I was like, yo, this is fucking dope. I got to come back to Japan.
Yeah,
They won't let me into China. They won't let me in. No way.
Why? Because of all the Pimp My Ride episodes?
No, not because of that. Because of my content is not. They said something about my content, and they just don't allow it.
China
in
said that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, China's getting different now. They were getting real strict on. Like, the communist shit's really getting more communist now. And because I remember going to Hong Kong and Shanghai and Beijing and all them places before, like in the late 90s, early 2000s. And it was great. I had the best time. And now it's like, nope, you can't get on fucking YouTube. You can't get on your Instagram. You got to have a VPN. And even then they'll be fucking watching you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's real strict now.
Yeah, I learned a valuable lesson. I toured with Prince Paul once. Paul called me and said, yo, Bump, I want you to go to Europe with me to host my DJ gigs. Now, I'd never done a hosting thing before, but my fan base is so solid on what I do. I went there, and Paul gets out on the stage and he introduces me, which it should have been the other way around, because if I was the host, I should have brought him out. But he brings me out, and I came out, just my jeans on and a shirt, and I came out, hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Just DJ Prince Paul on the 1 and 2. I was doing the hip hop thing like that. And this one kid in the crowd was like, he said, yo, man, fucking put up a sign. On the sign, there's a big sign that said, where's Bumpy Knuckles? On a sign. Mm-hmm. And I'm standing right there. So he was like, I was like, what the fuck is that? So I finally put 2 and 2. I said, yo, Paul, you got Industry Shakedown in your set? He's like, yeah, I got it. I said, put it on. And he put on, I did Bumpy Knuckles, baby, Industry Shakedown, and that motherfucker looked at me like, man, fuck out of here, and walked out. Because they used to seeing me with the jumpsuit on and fucking 20-inch biceps, fucking 21-inch chest, fucking chest like this, and fucking barking on everybody. And I wasn't there for that. You know what I'm saying? But what I got out of that was that, don't host fucking shows.
Everything's a learning experience.
They wanted you to be like,
they wanted me to do.
Throw your hands in the air.
Nah, they wanted me to do what. They wanted me to be militia. They wanted me to be, Bumpy Knuckles, baby. They wanted me to be stock in the game. And it's like, that's what we were talking about earlier about them putting you in their head. And I wasn't mad at him, because I've had a few experiences. One time I lost my voice at a show before a show, and the show that I showed up at, I rocked like this. The whole show and nobody left. And Premier was like, come on, Bump, push it. And I'm saying in the back of my mind, like, shut the fuck up, man. You ain't up here rapping, motherfucker. My shit was gone. Like, I'm talking about, I was like, yo, can I get a witness? I was like, that, it was gone, like literally. But the fact that nobody left told me a lot, man. Yeah. And I learned from that shit. So we all have our calamities traveling overseas, but I'll go back there anytime to rock because they're so passionate about what we do. And it wasn't like they didn't drag you. They didn't drag me about it. They say, you know, that it's just the reality of it. You know, you got a fan base that loves what you do. Like when you say you got a standing ovation and that never happened before, that's like, that tells you a lot right there. Yeah. Like those are the places you want to go play where people appreciate what you do.
My first experience with it was going with Russell.
Yeah.
And there, you just show up loved.
Yeah, it's a lot of love in Europe, man. Yeah. Europe, Japan, all those overseas places where we played. I think the
Australia,
first, I think one of the first digital sound systems I ever rocked on was in Tokyo, Japan. Never rocked on a digital sound system before until I got to Tokyo.
Japan got the illest.
They're 10 years ahead of us in technology, bro. I'm talking about. It was sick. I was seeing fucking miniature cell phones like this in the 90s, and homeless motherfuckers was on them. Like, this motherfucker ain't got no money.
I will be home in 2 hours.
The fucking cab driver with a Rolex on with white gloves to get mad if you touch the door.
Shit, I'm supposed to do Paris in October. Right? Check this line out.
Wait, this year?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. HR just called.
It's supposed to be EPMD, Keith Murray, AZ, Large Professor, Coogee Rap, DOS Effects, Master Ace, Marco Polo,
God damn,
The Beat Nuts, Havoc, and Noid. And they saying more to be announced. Like that ain't fucking enough and shit.
What's Woodstock too? Like half a song each.
That's in October 1st through 3rd. It's like a little festival.
Who's
out
not
there.
getting paid?
I don't know.
Well, if I was the money man, I would say Noid.
I bet you that place would be packed. I bet you that.
It's gonna be ranked.
Hey, who did the beat for Los Angeles Times?
Mailman and Dr. Dre.
Oh, you knew that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's your man, Mailman.
Mailman is wicked.
Yeah.
He been nice a long time. Like quietly, a lot of people didn't know he did a lot of bangers. Like,
I'm still trying to get his discography. I be like, yo, because I be telling him, I just think sometimes you put stuff out there and you might, like, I think artists in general are walking around with a lot of money and they don't even know it. Especially from a publishing point of view. Because, you know, Mailman undid these incredible songs but you tracking your money here, mainly the labels, but tracking it overseas and Europe and Japan and all these places, that is your job. And I just learned that recently because I was tracking down some money that was owed to me by a label. And they was telling me, well, we only got a certain portion of your money. When the streaming came into play, you know, it's up to the artist to hire publishing administration companies to find your money overseas. Most artists don't know that shit.
Yeah.
So they walking around probably thinking they don't have no money, probably sitting on a shitload of money. And what's crazy is that when we talk about streaming, that's a whole nother issue because I think, honestly, the shit is illegal because when we sign contracts, we sign for a physical standpoint, cassette, vinyl, CD. That was the 3 physical things. Y'all created another platform with streaming, which nobody is mad about, but one...
Oh, shit, they found me!
Nice. You're looking for Eddie.
But,
They flying low.
what it is that your lawyer, your attorney negotiates the 3 foundations. I mean, at the time it was cassette, vinyl, CD. Digital didn't exist. So now, okay, y'all find a way to sell people music digitally, but shouldn't they call the lawyers and say, all right, we we're gonna put this out on another platform. We need to negotiate the terms. Nah, they just put the streaming out there and decide to give artists a percentage of a penny per stream. And then not only come up with what they feel they want to give you, don't tell you need to chase whatever money's out there. So about time artists do get hip to it, about 7-8 years later, and the statutes of limitation runs out on the money, artist loses the money.
I don't believe in statutes and limitations on money.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't believe in it. You nigga, you
I
owe,
understand your standpoint.
You owe. If you owe, you gonna owe until you die. Or you gonna die owing, or because you owe, nigga. Make sure y'all get that clear.
And it's called O because when Bumpy shows up, they go, oh.
Yeah.
But that's where we are with streaming, where a lot of artists got money out there that they don't even know, because the streaming thing is just, it's out of hand. I done seen my royalties start to quadruple in the last few years because of
But you chasing it, that's why. Because if you, ain't nobody gonna call you and say, you know, we have a check for you. And if they do.
Well, I think it's the artist staying on top of
his
the
business.
situation. When a
think you need a
label
team.
feel they could get away with it, that's when they're gonna try to get away with it.
I think you need a team. I think you need a strong team around you. Somebody that, because you know, one person can't do everything. I don't give a
Nah,
fuck
you
who
can't.
you are. You got to have a solid crew or some people around you that just know how to find that bread and go after the gigs you do. I mean, if you have a strong team, you'll be all right. You know, a lot of these new guys they may not realize that, but I say, who better to get money with than your people? Everybody, your homeboy got to do it for free, but you'll pay somebody else to do it. So if you build your team strong and you got somebody who looks after
Well, you gotta find the right homeboy.
Yeah,
That's what it is. 'Cause,
Whoever, whoever it is.
I've had, people your homeboys thinking like, yeah, I could show up late. He's gonna be cool. We go back.
Yeah.
The strangers be like, I ain't fucking this up. I need this. Yeah. And that's what I learned as far as hiring your
That's
friends.
when it comes down to get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So you're right. I think you could do anything, but you can't do everything.
Can't do everything, yeah. Got to have a strong crew. You got a strong, so you got people around you that make sure you ain't got a bunch. It's always that people showing up feeling like, yo, let me in free. I'm coming to support. It's just a whole different ball game. You got to figure that out because the music business is full of that cronyism. You know what I'm saying? And that shit works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. So, and then it could throw off your performance. It could throw off you as an artist because you got a bunch of motherfuckers in the room that didn't pay because they all know you. And now you on stage working, and ticket sales is going to determine how much you make at the end of the night. It's tricky.
And people get real used to free tickets.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
They get used to that, and then they're like, "Wait, I have to pay now?"
Need a pass, yo.
And then you get them in free, and then they text you, "Do I have to stand in this line?"
You know. Then they backstage eating up all your shit.
Right? Yeah, you're not even paying.
Shit, who you telling? I got all that happening all the time.
Backstage, eating up all your shit. They be you go backstage after the show looking for a simple turkey and cheese, and it's gone. That thing's
Oh, yeah,
gone.
where's all the food?
And all your fans are
that
like,
was for us.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
did
Ate
you
all
fucking
your
work
shit.
tonight? No.
Yeah, it's just different. Different. Different.
I have it now set up when I do like the arena shows that we have my own personal stash of stuff, and then we have a public table that we put out so motherfuckers don't touch mine.
So they find your stash.
Yeah, what's this extra? Is this backup?
I played in Switzerland one time, bro, and I think it was Switzerland. I think it was Switzerland. I went in my dressing room, bro. It was 3 bitten apples in a bowl. Motherfuckers rocked the dressing room before I got in there. Did a bunch of Coca-Cola sodas all on the floor. It was all fucked up. And it smelled like a ton of weed was puffed up in there. It was blunt paper all over the fucking place. So you just get on and rock, and then you get the fuck out the
You
way.
don't want to eat that shit anymore.
Yeah, you don't want to eat all that
Man,
shit.
it's got like
Sometimes
meat
they
and
feel
cheeses.
like I'm gonna spend all my
Shit,
money on this
fucking-
shit and you ain't gonna eat it
Eat
anyway.
that shit.
Bumpy Knuckles on the Salmonella tour.
Yeah, they put that shit out in the morning. It's like, how long this shit been sitting here?
Yeah.
Until since
You
3
don't
a.m.
realize how big of a deal that becomes to some artists, though. They'll fight you over per diem and how many. What do you want in your dressing room? I want Snickers bars, chicken wings. They make all this shit up and they don't eat it. So I guess they figure, why the fuck?
I look forward to after I come off stage, my liquor and my wings. And remember, I left stage one time and I got there. My dressing room was packed. Motherfuckers drinking my Hennessy. So, you know, first of all, nobody was supposed to be backstage. So it was the opening acts and shit. So I told promoter, so where's my Hennessy at? Oh, no, we put your Hennessy out. I said, I don't have it. And, you know, I see them drinking it over there, so that can't possibly be mine. We're not going to be able to get you. Oh,
This is not possible.
It's going
This is
cost.
not possible at this time of night.
Very hard to get
It's
in
gonna
beginning.
cost.
Yes, oh, fuck.
Either you going to give me an extra, I think I got them for an extra $400, $500, just because it was just the principle for me.
You know the reason for the intricate riders was for rock, like the rock band started that shit. I think it was either Aerosmith or the Rolling Stones or something. They had all these really detailed things on their rider, you know, like down to the blue M&Ms and all this type of shit. And they said they do that to see if the promoter is reading the contract properly. And they said the one time they got in the dressing room and a couple of things were missing from the rider, that night the truss on the stage fell off, means that they weren't paying attention. So they're trying to take short. So like they didn't put the fucking stage together the right way because they're not paying attention. So that's the reason they had those in the first place.
Yeah, Big Suge used to go in the dressing room.
Did he used to go in and go, hey,
He would make his plate, and Big Suge would make his plate and wrap that shit in aluminum foil and stash it. So he was the only one who was eating it. One time he was gonna kill Guru because Guru found his plate. Guru ate his plate. He was chasing Guru around the dressing room. But Suge was the smart one. Suge would go make his plate, make his food, and put that shit away, hide it. You know, because people be in there
Russ
fucking
is right. People create riders. I make you sign off on all the paragraphs. So you can't say you ain't know, you ain't see shit.
Yeah.
You gonna initial all the important shit.
Yeah, that's a lot. Just to get a show on. Just it's
Got to, man. Cause my thing is, me, I'm not the super commercial artist. It just seems they shit on the underground artists and they take care of the regular artists. You know, so you asking for simple shit. You ain't even asking for, you might ask for a couple of 2 liters, some liquor, some wings, light shit.
Cordon bleu.
And they can't get you. You asking for simple shit, and they can't deliver it, and you know they just hosted some big event with this big artist. You know they took care of everything.
That's why you got to get on your KRS-One. You gotta go show up at showtime, rock, and leave, get your money and leave. You know what I mean? Sometimes waiting around to fucking have a fucking smorgasbord after the show it's not real.
Filleted unicorn.
I swear to God, there better not be bones in that goddamn unicorn.
Yeah, what the fuck? Where's my fucking unicorn?
Brent Morin one time, a comedian friend of ours, one time made a joked about what he wanted on his rider and then totally forgot about it. And then we're doing this tour and everywhere we went in the green room was a jersey from that town's college. This is for you. And he's like, what the fuck? And finally, like by the 5th one, he's like, he called his agent. He goes, why am I getting jerseys at all these places? He goes, you asked for it on that. You had said that that's what you wanted. And he's like, man, I'm a comedian.
Yeah,
I was just kidding. I don't have room for all these jerseys.
You've been on tour with me. All the shit that's in the green room. I never asked for that ever.
What about
we just took somebody else's rider and copied it, and so now every time I show up, there's like a fruit plate, a cold cuts plate, and I'm like, what? And a chocolate cake, and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even eat this shit.
But you do ask for the bucket of chicken, though.
I do ask for the KFC.
Because you got all these black friends that come in. He want to bring in Kentucky Fried.
Interesting that Xzibit's drinking fried chicken tape for the vodka.
damn it.
Did you mix it with? No, your lady mixed it with the watermelon
Man,
juice.
what the? How did this become the fucking black joke all of a sudden?
It was fermenting.
Oh my God. This is crazy. No fried chicken and no watermelon. Fucking
Technically,
alcohol.
Russ should have tandoori chicken,
That's true. That's the national bird of India.
basmati rice.
Oh, P made some bomb ass butter chicken. Is there any left? You got to try that
Butter
shit.
chicken.
You know,
butter chicken.
you gotta-
Butter chicken.
For us,
Brrr.
the hardest thing to get in fucking Europe seemed like fucking turkey. You
No,
ask
the
for
hardest
turkey?
thing to get in Europe is vegetables.
No, the hardest thing to get in Europe is unbubbly water or unbubbly lemonade.
Still water.
Everything got salsa.
Yeah.
You go bubbles.
Yeah.
Carbonated.
Yeah.
That's it.
mad at
And
that.
warm.
I know. Who wants carbonated
Dude.
lemonade?
And motherfucking,
They serve French fries with every fucking thing.
And they got
You
pork.
can't.
Pork. I done broke it down to the P's. It's pork, pastries, and pasta. That's overseas.
A waiter laughed at me in French for asking for French fries. Busted out laughing. They call them chips, I think.
And then they put
Pommes frites.
mayonnaise on the
Pommes
motherfucking
frites.
French fries.
Yeah.
Yeah, mayonnaise on a pizza.
Oh shit!
Stop lying.
No, that's real shit. They put mayonnaise, lines of mayonnaise on the fucking
Mayonnaise
pizza.
fries does work though. I mean,
Yeah.
as Canadians, we
I
can
never
vouch
had
for
that.
that. We can.
Yeah.
But I like gravy with my fries. I like brown gravy with my
Poutine.
fries. Yeah, poutine's the shit.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Poutine.
Yo, I seen the weirdest shit in fucking Europe when it comes to food.
Poutine.
They love mayonnaise in a whole different way.
But their mayonnaise is like the real mayonnaise made with eggs and shit. Like,
Yeah.
Yo,
it's just that
yo,
processed shit that tastes good.
Yo, we ordered a pizza. I swear to God, this pizza showed up. We asked for a fucking pepperoni pizza. Right?
Where was this?
It's in Europe somewhere. It's got to be in Germany. Some shit like that. But the pizza showed up with corn on it. I ain't never seen corn
Oh, that sounds like
on
England.
a pizza. And then there was like lines of like a grid of mayonnaise across the whole pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so I
With
just
the pepperoni?
yeah, that was how the pepperoni pizza came with corn, mayonnaise, and some other shit on it. And I was
Ordering
like,
pizza in Germany must be like ordering sushi in the Midwest.
yeah, it just came
don't
all
trust
fucked up.
it.
I
I
ain't
don't
never seen
Shit
that.
in Germany. I mean, I don't know what's been in their ovens.
Oh, God
I played
damn.
Italy. Italy
Wow,
had the best.
this is getting rough in this
That's the
motherfucker.
reason the show's called Culturally Cancelled.
Yo, it's getting
in-
rough.
have you ever gone to Trinidad?
No.
Oh, in Trinidad, they fucking put ketchup and mustard on a pizza. Like they'll get it and then they'll put ketchup and mustard. You get fried chicken, they put ketchup and mustard and hot sauce on the chicken. Like but it fucking tastes good. I don't get it. When I'm there, I'm like, what the
Chicken is
fuck?
one thing. The pizza's a whole.
No,
Listen,
you can't
even
put
I was like,
nothing
what the
on there
fuck?
I
And
don't
I
want on
tasted
there.
it. I go, why does this work? And then I tried it when I came home. I go, it does not work here. It only works there for some reason.
Damn.
My stomach had to get, when we went to India, I lost 10 pounds in India. I was eating every day. Culturally can't. I shit my pants in India. I'm not gonna lie. It was delicious, but it just did not want to stay inside of my body.
Because it's all like not processed.
so good though.
Everything's not in other countries. Shit ain't processed.
Yeah. And my
like
bo-
because they don't give a fuck about the shelf life.
little
They're not
tummy
trying to
wasn't
just
used to
make
it.
money. They're just trying to sell you food.
Oh,
and
so
that's
good.
the difference in America. Everything is like to last longer so they can make more money.
Yeah, you put it on the shelf.
And they don't give a fuck about a fly land. Fly land on my hamburger, I'm throwing that shit away.
Oh yeah, I don't give a shit.
I'm not eating no. If a fly lands on anything, I'm throwing that shit away. Motherfuckers be chefing. I be seeing videos of these motherfuckers chefing and flies landing on shit. They still chefing. I'm like, who's going to eat this? some fly just came halfway around the world with shit chips on his feet and walked all over your chips.
Oh wow.
And then landed on your food, and now you eat that shit? No way. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
doesn't
doing
bother me.
No stinks.
I eat on the street in India, so I'm whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck it is
I
what
can't
it is.
do it. Son. I'm not-
And my dad was a meat inspector, so everything was good to us. I was like, my dad, it's still good, eat it. It says it expired a month ago. It said best before. That means it's still good. It just would have tasted better 1 month ago.
Yeah, I can't do flies, Joe. I don't want no fly landing.
I
on
said
me.
fries, bitch, not flies.
Yeah, for real, man. There's a video guy of an Indian dude that cooks in the woods and shit out on YouTube. I always watch
From
him.
India?
Yeah, he's an Indian dude. He comes out there, wraps himself up in the skirt. He has this big old giant pot, and he's cooking fly souffle. Everything he got flies landing on this shit. He'll just go. But this shit looks delicious, man. But there's flies on it.
Yeah, but here's what you don't understand is that it gives the flies the run, so they don't come back.
Oh, damn.
My thing is, you don't see what this little fly is. Just he just jumped off of this big piece of elephant shit and he landed on your sandwich, and now he's marching all these shit prints all over your burger. Shit prints. I'm not doing that, son. You better than me, Russ. I don't know how you do that shit.
Hey, it's Johnny Shit Prince.
that's another though. That's like all these different places you've been and all the different experiences that you had. To me, that's the takeaway from being able to go everywhere because of your talent. That's
Well, yeah, but also I never ever expected to make it in this game. To be honest, I never. There wasn't one day I was like, I'm gonna make it one day. I was like, I just hope to get money one day. I just hope to make enough to.
I'm gonna make it today, and then we'll see how tomorrow goes.
Yeah, I'm like, I was worried about it. Yeah, I wasn't. I was. It was never like about. I'm gonna do this. I'm like, listen, I had nothing to compare it to. I was like, I'm just gonna fucking do this. And
you
see
ever
what
felt
happens.
like you just don't want to do it no more? You ever felt like that?
No.
Yeah.
No.
And I think sometimes I'll feel like, rapping. I taught myself how to do multiple things because I know I don't want to rap on every record or everybody's song. Like sometimes
you got an album coming out that's just all beats you did. You're not even rapping on it.
I rapped on a couple of songs, but nothing like I wanted the other rappers to rap on it because I wanted to produce. But learning how to do more than just one thing. In comedy, you got to just jokes. You don't want to, you know what I mean?
Well, you get the opportunity to get an acting gig if you want to do that,
but you still got to be funny, right?
Yeah.
Like the transition of a comedian doing a serious role. There's not many guys that can do that shit.
No, actually, it's easier for comics to go serious because we have dark brains.
Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, those guys are amazing dramatic
Jamie
actors.
Foxx is the
Jamie
beast.
Foxx is
Yeah, because
unbelievable.
we got a lot of dark sides.
Yeah.
The things that we find funny are dark.
Yeah.
Things that we find funny, most people go, that's terrible.
No, that's mean.
Yeah, we're like, no, it's not. It's kind of fucking funny when you think about it.
Yeah, y'all get away with saying shit that a regular
Not
person.
now.
That's why I think that's why I like Chino XL so much because
Chino's
he
dope.
always just said shit that made me go, oh shit. Chino was always that guy like, God damn, Chino, did you just say that?
Yeah.
And I fucking like salute that brother right there.
That don't give a fuck.
He don't give a fuck.
Yeah. That's a hard position to take, especially when everybody's so critical. You can't say shit no more, like nothing. Everything you say now.
You gotta get that out your head because the people that are already riding with you, they're gonna keep riding with you.
And technically, you can say it. You just have to give a fuck about people that say they don't like what you're saying, and that's your choice. You know, people cancel shit and all that other stuff. I mean, if your people is with you and they know your character and who you've been over the last 20-some years in your career, I mean, if you had that, then you're good. You know what I'm saying? Like be able to say what you mean and mean what you say.
Yeah, here's the thing: you're never gonna win over those fucking people.
No.
Just focus on the people that are already riding with you. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Because the people that are riding with you don't want you to switch.
No.
The minute you bend to the people that didn't give a fuck about you, now you lose these people, and you're not going to gain those people. Now you're left with zero.
See, I should have did Industry Shakedown. I did Industry Shakedown. I went hard on everybody, and I didn't give a fuck at the time. But it was rappers who was like, they were like, if you fuck with him, we're not fucking with you. And that was like, it was like that. It was like personal. It was everything, but everything was personal because I felt like ain't nobody busting at Mr. Charlie. And Mr. Charlie's the one robbing everybody and doing all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then him and his minions are the ones that are giving everybody the business. But you know, it was a lot of that going on. There was a lot of people that were like, I can't put Bumpy on this show because, you know, Live Nation is the this person is there's that person, and it's like, fuck all of this shit, dog. Then Ness gave me the jewel, and I went that direction. So,
What did he give you?
knowledge,
The knowledge.
the knowledge.
There you go.
He gave me the jewel, and him and Show gave me the jewel, and that's how that shit switches up. So it's really about just transferring information and finding your lane. We back to that, just finding your lane. So I would imagine that being a comedian is the same thing, just finding your lane. Because I seen somebody arguing over like stolen jokes or something like that recently. Somebody said somebody
That
stole a
happens
joke.
all the time.
Yeah. How do you deal with somebody taking your joke? Do you
You catch and meet up with them and you squab.
Yeah.
You tie your hands.
That's how I would do it.
You tie your hands together and go back and forth like the Beat It video.
or maybe or like do an elevator fight? You get in the elevator and just go.
Yeah, you go in the room and you come out one person.
Yeah, so you come out the elevator.
And then there's people that think, no, that's just an old school attitude to have. When you forget we are, you know what I mean? You know Dwayne Perkins?
Yeah.
He said the best thing in the green room at a comedy club one time. He goes, you know what a lot of people forget? They forget that fighting is still on the table.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's a good fucking point.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and 99% of the time you'll never see that motherfucker that stole your shit in person again. They'll go on to do whatever they're doing. You'll never see them. And you'll be like, if I ever catch that motherfucker, then everybody goes, you're a bully. I'm like, I'm not a fucking bully. I'm just not the guy to play with like that.
And I'm precious about my art.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there are examples of like-minded thinking where it's not word for word, but there are those people out there that are like word for word jacking you. And then on the other end of it, it's really disrespectful to come at somebody and go, hey man, I heard you stole my joke. Instead of starting with the conversation like, hey, can I talk to you? I do this thing about this and I heard you do the same thing and let's have a talk about it. And when somebody comes at me like that, I'm like, all right, let's talk about it. I had one guy one time come to me and goes, hey man, I got to talk to you. Somebody told me you were stealing my jokes. I don't even know who this guy was. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, there's this joke where I said this, and that. And I go, all right. And he said to me, I did that on YouTube. I said, well, I did it on the Tonight Show.
Wow.
Before you.
Yeah.
You say, get on stage and say, yeah, I'm going to do this joke that this motherfucker stole from me, but I'm going to show you how it really supposed to
But
go.
then I went on his YouTube and it wasn't even the same thing. It had a subject matter that was similar, but there's the disrespect on that end of it. Where like just talk to me about it. I mean, I have this joke that I do that me and two other buddy of mine have very similar, and we talked about it. We know we didn't steal it from each other, but when we're on the same show, we just you do it tonight. I'm not gonna do it.
Do you get affected by people that just come there not to laugh? Like, I know Russell will hone in on them and rip them a
That's
new
my
ass.
favorite.
No, I stare at them.
That's
I
my
focus on them.
favorite.
You ever
Is it-
see that? Like people just come there like,
Yep.
Yep, all
Can
the
I tell
time.
you, it's
all
usually
the time. It's one of
usually-
the couples.
Yep, it's usually the guy with the beautiful girl who's going, "Hi, it's so funny." And he's just like, it's funny. And that's my goal is to make that dude crack.
Yeah.
I want to make him laugh. And if he doesn't, I'm going to start talking to him. And then just riffing on what his problem is.
I
and
see
stuff
that.
like
I've seen that at live shows before, where there's people in the audience. I remember being in France one time, and it was a dude front stage, him and his girl, just like,
Why did you pay for the tickets?
yeah. And I'm like, so you just kind of zone in on them and just you gotta. It's like it's almost a challenge to win them over. It kind of motivates me a little bit, Mike.
There's this show.
There could be 1,000 people clapping and you only hear the one person booing.
Oh yeah,
Right?
especially as comics. That's who we hone in on.
Yeah.
Who did I not win over? Where's that one dude that I didn't win over? What's your problem? I misunderstood it the other night. I did Chocolate Sunday at the Laugh Factory, and this guy was just like this the whole time. And I'm like, oh, this guy's not feeling me. I'm gonna go back at him. And I'm doing my thing. And then when I went back at him, he was like this. He was just tired. He just passed out because he had too much to drink. I'm like, oh, he's not listening because he's wasted. You know?
Yeah.
Your little story about the stealing of the jokes reminded me of something as a kid that I was like, when you think about hip hop and you think about samples, right? There's a lot of samples. But when somebody uses a sample a certain way and then somebody else uses that sample almost identically, but it's not like a loop or something. You have to be creative with how you sampled it. There was one specific instance that I remember, and I'm almost certain it's your record. So it was you sampled a record, and then Pete Rock sampled it on the second on was it Caramel? No, on whatever the second album was called, and they looped it the same way, and it was
Actual Facts, I think. Not Actual Facts.
I can't remember. It was like I think it was like the Rising to the Top sample or something. And it was just looped a certain way.
You talking about OC.
OC, yes. It was
Born
OC.
to Live
Born to Live.
versus I'll Take You There.
Right.
CL, what you gonna do?
But the loop, right? It wasn't it wasn't just a generic.
It was the way, it's the way that Buck Wild chopped around the piano part of Keep Rising to the Top where it wasn't Money voice in there no more. It was just the dun, 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 dun.
But it was a very specific
dun, dun.
sample chop.
And yeah, so Buck did it first.
Right.
And well, we could always say whoever did it first. Buck came out with it first.
Okay.
And then CL and them, Pete and CL came out with it second.
Right.
You know, I have to be politically correct because sometimes I learned that you can have something that, like, I got music right now and I hear people come out with loops like, damn, I had that shit 4 years ago. But in my mind, so I'm not going to use my shit now because they coming out with it? Sometimes it's just like, sometimes depending on what it is, fuck it, my shit is better, I'm going to come out with it.
Yeah. Sometimes
It's just like I'm being in that mind state where everything on my album, I want it to be fresh. I don't want it to be what anybody else use. So it's just a mind state of how you look
Because
at
the
it.
shit
but
don't belong to neither one of you, really, to tell the truth.
I stole it better than you stole it.
But
To catch a thief.
yeah, I mean that happened in hip hop, especially in the
That
90s.
with you and Mac Miller too.
Anyway, but
Oh
anyway,
man, leave that alone.
yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Cut that out.
Dude is no longer here.
Yeah,
But one, I created one, and he just took the whole entire instrumental.
Yeah.
And it bugs me out when people say he sampled like you sampled. No, I didn't. I took 2 notes and I
Created something.
created something. He took my whole fucking instrumental from just throwing it on and doing a song. And then, it's like, nah, he sampled like you and you sued him
That's the argument?
for something he did for free. He gave it away for free.
Ah.
Yeah.
Full circle.
We'll just cut that.
How you feel about that situation, bro?
Oh yeah, Fox.
I roll with Ness all the way out on now. I thought a lot of rappers
man.
should have minded their fucking business, shut the fuck up, mind your business, and stop being a dick rider hoping that Mac Miller put you on his album. Shut the fuck up. That's how I feel.
I mean, what that did teach me, it taught me a lot about how they can kind of taint you, right? You could have did a lot of great shit for 30 years.
Yep.
And now one instant came up where this dude is saying, well, he's suing me and this and that. And they paint a picture of you. And I think the most disappointing part wasn't his fans getting at me, because they his fans.
Right.
It's my motherfuckers that I've known for over 20-something
what I had a problem
years that didn't even say, well, damn, this shit don't sound like Ness.
Yeah.
Let me give him a call and see what really happened.
Yeah.
It was just people like
automatically tweeting, speed tweeters.
That was fucked up,
Yeah,
and
fuck
and
outta here.
that's fucked up. Ness on some bitch shit like that and this and that. You know how many people I had to run up and check? Like, I heard you said some
You was
words
taking
about
attendance on motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Check.
Show had to actually he actually stopped me from wilding out, because it was this one person that was saying some slick shit, and I found out where he was gonna be that night. And I was telling my man, OG, I just want you to be there. I'm gonna slap fire out this motherfucker. Watch. When I go get him, I'm gonna slap fire out.
So
him.
violent.
So,
Ooh, God.
I was telling Show, like, yeah, I'm about to go downtown, check this nigga so-and-so. That nigga screamed on me so hard.
Yeah,
You
shows
let
like that.
somebody take you out your character.
Yeah.
So
Got
he
his
got on
Elijah
me so
Muhammad
hard.
on you.
So
That's-
listen, he stops me from checking the person. And he's drunk one night and sees the person
Checks
and
him.
decides to check him. So you got a problem with my brother? I'm saying, this whole incident, blah, blah, blah. Nah, I heard. The fuck does that got to do with you, though?
Yeah, that's how that same position I
the
took.
fuck that got to do with you?
Yeah.
Do you know what happened? And it was crazy because I run into the dude after that, but I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm just not gonna acknowledge you. So the dude came in. It was crowded. Came in, tried to give me 5, and I just looked at him, looked down at his hand, turned my back, and continued my conversation with everybody else. And from that point on, he felt the tension, like, I think I'm gonna leave. And he tapped somebody who was cool with me, like, yo, you don't know
Excuse
why.
me, is there a back door here? I can go after some of this.
You don't know why, you feel that way. And I explained to him, like, yo, I thought we was cool. And you were saying some sucker shit about me that I thought if you had a problem with me, you could have just called me. So if I heard you was talking shit, when I see you, we ain't gonna be cool. And, we squash it, we move on. But the industry, I just learned that the industry can just taint people against you. And then you'll just be fucked up.
No
'Cause
shit. No shit.
You'll be trying to figure out what you did wrong. And I learned that. I just don't give a fuck. If I know I didn't do it and I feel I ran with good intentions, fuck you,
Nigga,
fuck everybody.
I went after my money, and all of a sudden, Fox kicked the door in with 2 Uzis, and he shot everybody. And then he grabbed all of the mail because he thought the check was in the bunch mail. And then he ran outside and jumped into a car full of guys with black vests on. They just turned that shit into a whole big fucking story. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I also know the story you're talking
They
about.
put a 2 on a
so
10.
we can
Fuck
edit all
that
this
shit.
out, but you know,
fuck that.
But I just learned that you have to really stand on what you believe. Whether it's you, and I tell this to people in the game, some of the greatest journeys you're gonna have to fight by yourself. If you ain't ready to fight them journeys by yourself, just fucking quit now. If you waiting on people to acknowledge what you about to do,
support.
or give you support or stamp it, if you waiting on that,
ain't gonna happen.
just fucking quit, because it's not gonna happen. You're gonna have people that's gonna discourage you. You're gonna have people telling you the shit ain't right because they don't see your vision. Your vision is your vision. Ain't a fucking cosign.
That's why you don't see. I think the only collaboration on Industry Shakedown was MOP. That's it. You don't see that because wasn't nobody trying to jump up. Not that I didn't want collaborations, but everybody was like, everybody turned into aura, because I let them hear some of that shit. Like, this is where I'm going with the project. If I bring you something I want you to be on, I want to make sure you're comfortable because I'm saying some shit now that's but with hopes and dreams of being you sitting behind that desk and signing that paper, it might not work out for you that way after you get on this motherfucker. I was like, I bet I got to do this one alone. So I know exactly what you mean.
But when you do it and you supersede all that bullshit, and people gonna understand at the end because that shit only lasts for so long, and then people want to be cool with you again, and then you don't want to be cool. They don't understand that now. You a problem. Well, what's his attitude? And because people, my team, they know me. I'm the motherfucking grudge holder. Yeah. Because I look at life like this. If I never did anything to you to warrant some fucking trife shit you did to me, we can't be cool. We can't. Because at the end of the day, what did I do to warrant what you did to me? And people think after a while that shit's supposed to die down. Well, that shit was 5 years ago, so he should be over it now. So I'm gonna be over it so you could do it all over again. I just feel like, fuck it, I'll just dismiss you, move on with my life. We don't fuck around no more. We ain't cool no more. We cool with that. Then to keep forgiving motherfuckers that's gonna still keep doing the same thing over and over. I just never get that point of it. Where people say, yeah, I could forgive, I ain't gonna forget, and I ain't gonna put you in position to do it again.
Accountability situation.
Yeah,
right there,
and that's how I look at the game. And the industry will chew you up and spit you out. If you ain't strong, they'll make you seem like they'll count you out.
They spit me out before they start chewing. I taste terrible.
Yeah.
I gave them the most nastiest taste in their mouth because I showed up with them ooh-wops like, nigga, where's my bread?
They will count you out, but you gotta understand most of these motherfuckers can't count.
They'll count you out. That's right.
You gotta understand what's your vision, what's your aim. If you got your most loyal, genuine people around you to this day, that's all that matters. You worrying about motherfuckers that don't matter, and that be the industry. You keep worrying about motherfuckers that don't matter. Like, what are they gonna do for you?
Like the motherfuckers that don't fuck with you, that you never did business before because they heard some shit. Those are people that don't trust their larceny. There's motherfuckers who will look at you and say, well, I heard that, I heard this. I hate those people with the I heard shit. You good ear motherfuckers that hear every goddamn thing. I heard, you know what I mean? But you never had an issue with them. You never had, that's the sucker shit right there. Like
my whole thing, if somebody could tell you something about me and make you forget who I am as a person, I don't want your fucking friendship. I don't need friendship.
You never fucked with me.
Because nobody should be able to, nobody can't tell me something foul about Fox that make me go, I'll call Fox or what you done did now. I might ask him that.
Yeah.
But nobody's gonna turn around and make me look at Fox any other way. Known Fox for damn near the beginning of my career, 30 years. So when you
57,
have that type
59?
of friendship, shouldn't nobody be able to get in your ear and taint you about none of your true, genuine friends?
I think if you don't know me or somebody don't know anybody, for you to take a position like that, especially if you never had any incident. It's different if you slap the collard green juice out of motherfucking nose and then you see them somewhere and they like, yo, that motherfucker slap. You still, you know what I'm saying? But it's different. It's different if you never had an incident with a person in my life, and then I've been in places where people have seen me show up and they were like, oh no, I'm out. Well, fuck you, what are you leaving for? The nigga seen you come and he bounced. Why? Like for what? Because he's scared he ate collard greens for dinner or something? Yeah. like, what the fuck? So they scared you going. They put a thing on you. So to me, Ness, man, I always wanted to thank you publicly for helping me to find my space, my own space mentally as a creator. Cause I was lost, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was like a wild dog in the woods and shit. Just whatever was in front of me was gonna get eaten. It was a wrap.
I mean, for me, it was just, I think you run into a lot of people in the game that go through a lot of the trials and tribulations you go through. And sometimes that talk is just to let people know you ain't the only one. We all went through it. I tell people all the time is like, all right, this happened to you, that happened to you. And I'll let you tell me your whole story, and then I'm going to ask you one question. So what you going to do about it?
Yeah.
If you can't tell me what you're going to do about it, we don't need to talk no more. You told me what happened. I asked you what you're going to do about it. You ain't going to do shit? All right, good night, bye-bye. I'm going to go over here and have a drink, Because otherwise, you're looking for sympathy. You ain't looking for a solution.
That's some valuable shit to have a person take you and sit you down and say, man, listen, I believe you're better than that. I believe don't let this stop you from becoming this. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is valuable. And then a lot of rappers, because we all rap, think they know each other. Even if they never met, they think they know each other. And that ain't real. You know what I'm saying? So when you finally get a chance to kick it with somebody, you say, oh, that's a cool motherfucker. Or you say, oh, the fuck is this corny ass motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? But you find out who you're dealing with when you get a chance to actually vibe with them and say, man, I done heard some stories about me, bro. I'm like, well, I was there? Like, really? Like they put a 2 on the 10 all day long, bro.
See, I've learned.
Any stories I know about you, you told me personally. Yeah. And everything I heard about you, I asked you about it.
Yeah. I try to clarify a lot of things and some shit you can ask me about and get beat up because it ain't your business. Like, you know what I'm saying?
See, to me, that's
real shit.
I wasn't like in the game of music. I was attracted to music. And I've known some incredibly crazy people. Yeah. But I wasn't fascinated with that lifestyle. Yeah. I know you crazy. I know you do this, that, and the third. I'm doing music. I'm the cool motherfucker. So yeah, we could still hang out, but when you gonna do your crazy shit, I'm gonna go to this club, have a great time. I'll talk to you later. I wasn't fascinated where I felt that I wanted that. I want people to fear me, and I want to come in with 90 people, and people that was never really my thing.
Music got to be the conversation we talking about music. Huh? Music has got to be the conversation.
Yeah, my thing is I'm into music. I know what you into. You seem cool. We always kick it. We have a great time. Great. To me, it's no fear factor because I'm not trying to be you. I'm no threat to you. So why would I fear you? Mm-hmm. You ain't trying to extort me or nothing. I'm great. But I think with a lot of rappers, they want that credibility and they're not built for that credibility. And they got their crews and their teams, and it's easy to start beefs, but they don't understand the one word I always say, which is casualties. It's going to be a casualty.
Yeah.
And are you willing to take care of that person that lost their life, their family, whatever it is? Are you built enough to take care of that?
It's some talented cats in this game that just haven't even tapped into that ability to be talented because they too busy trying to focus on other stupid shit, butt fucking pigeons and all kind of stupid shit. But can you rhyme?
Butt fucking pigeons.
Can you rhyme? Can you rap?
That's the name of my next special.
Go
Butt fucking pigeons.
Just can you rhyme? Can
Another
you
humanitarian act.
What'd you say? Fried unicorn?
Filet unicorn. We got people getting collard green juice slapped out of them, fried unicorns, and
we've been
fucking
culturally
pigeons.
canceled.
pigeons being sexually assaulted.
Sodomized.
I think we should wrap it up now. I think you can't get any better than butt fucking a pigeon.
On that note.
On that note.
On that note,
I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into this episode of Culturally Canceled. There was a lot of discussions in this one, some good shit. I want to thank the COO of the West Wing, Lord Finesse, for being here.
my man.
Jason Collings for also being here. This is his first time doing a podcast ever. Just kidding. If you want to see Jason Collings perform, he's on Instagram at Jason Collings. My old radio co-host and my dear friend, Mr. Paul Mastermind Parhar.
Mastermind.
Is on my right. Thanks, P Double, for being here. X to the motherfucking Z.
Yes.
Thank you for coming through. You're a man of your word. He only met me once before this, and I said, "Hey man, would you do my podcast?" He goes, "Yeah, absolutely." You know, it's LA, so people say absolutely all the time. And if you had flaked on me, I would have been like, "Well, that's about right." But you're a real one, and I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. And my youngest sibling, Jimmy Knuckles over here. Freddie the Fox,
Thank you, bro.
Bumpy Knuckles, a.k.a.
Beat the brakes off you.
Jimmy Knick-Knack with the click-clack when he pull that hammer back and you go splat, splat.
See, this is what gets me in trouble. These kind of introductions get me in trouble.
It's my freestyle. It's my freestyle. I'm Russell Peters. Thanks for tuning in, kids.